Hello everyone, this is Pretty Awesome here, and today we're going to take a look at some of the new changes in Heart of the Swarm and how it's affected TvT. If you're wondering, this is the most recent patch where they completely revamped Terran and many of the other races. So the game's so much different, and I actually really like the changes. I'm happy with what they did. I think QXE was someone who was talking a lot about, these types of changes, and I think they paid attention. So cool. Probably my favorite thing so far with the update has been the Armory change. So before, if you wanted to go into having units that were in the sky, and you wanted to have them upgraded, you had to have a separate upgrades for your air units. But now they're both combined in one, like Protosses. So your air units are going to be sharing your upgrades to your ground units, which means Terran can transition much earlier without having to worry about catching up to the opponent. So, when Zerg makes those really annoying tech switches, you can keep up with it now. You're not like, oh crap, I gotta get my upgrades, oh my god, and you die. So, it's definitely gonna make things a lot better. And in TvT, it's led to a lot of Sky Terran. Funnily enough, I don't think there's a single game I played so far in the beta since even before this patch, because Battlecruisers did get their buff. Yeah, just we're getting to a point where we have Battlecruisers in TvT more often, and also in TvZ. And it's a lot earlier in the game. So it means you get that, you have more of a chance to getting to that ultimate Sky Terran army that's nearly unbeatable. And it's going to be great doing mech versus Zerg this way too. So I'm enjoying it quite a bit. Anyways, for my build, pretty standard, just going 1 racks, fast expand. He's going to be doing some early tank push, I think, up here soon. And going to expand behind it, checking my base. He sees the bunker, and he probably should immediately decide not to move out, but he does, so yeah. Just going to try and play this really fast, because I'm not like casting my own game, just talking more about the changes. But anyways, he pushes up, and the push is pretty much thwarted by a bunker and repairing. Not a whole lot that he can do. And he doesn't really have the vision necessary, so he backs off. Tried to punish him, it didn't work. Alternatively, it might have been a good idea for him to maybe siege up over here once he got some air units and started hitting me over at my geyser, because I really need that. So it's one little nice place on this map to take advantage of. Also, I haven't really experimented with it, but I'm not sure if sieging up tanks around here might help too by cutting off your army. But anyways, again, pretty standard. I'm playing Marine Tank Medevac just like I would in Wings of Liberty. I'm just more familiar with the style, and I'm slowly trying to learn to play differently. I haven't seen much use of the Reapers yet either, but this isn't really a great map for it anyways. So, I mean, you have this here, but the army's usually somewhere in this area anyways. So he's expanding, we're both macroing. I think pretty soon I'm about to transition into getting a lot more, yeah, there we go. I'm going to start getting a lot more factories and transition into more of a mech play. Just because if you're playing Terran and you're going bio and the other person is going mech, chances are, the later the game goes on, you're pretty much dead. Unless you do tons of harassing. But anyways, one thing to note is the Hellbats still aren't all that great. I mean, maybe I probably could have took this out, but I didn't want to lose too many units. I mean, to the siege tank, they just pretty much got destroyed. What are their upgrades? 0-1, and I'm 1-0. So, I mean, yeah, even with me having one attack upgrade and him having the defense kind of cancels it out. Still, just completely destroying these things. And also, if you're going pure mech as Terran now, if you do want to play this Hellbat style, you're so much less immobile than you were before. Like, at least before you could go and take your Hellions and start harassing, various parts on the map, but not so much anymore. So, I mean, you obviously you don't have to get them, but I would like to see these more viable. I mean, Terran, in terms of, like, new units, has gotten the mine and this, and frankly, I don't think this is all that great. Also, this isn't a good example for it, but one thing I've noticed with playing Terra now is they tend to spread mines all over the place, which leads to a lot more turtling than there used to be. Like, way more. Put on that production tab. But yeah, as we can see, I'm pretty much ahead in all rights. By no means is this like super high level tier play, but I think like my concepts and my understanding are, solid enough to talk about this. So yeah, I mean, the Widow Mines are almost an overlapping role, I think, with the tanks. Other than that, they're cloaked and slightly more agile. Actually, the new burrow upgrade form that you research at the tech lab is really nice. I just gotta rewind this just for a second. because it completely, I think, like halves your burrow time. So it means when you're in these situations, like you see, I'm going to be trying to push up here soon. So usually, you know, they just burrow like that. So at least I get a couple shots off before my mines die, and it, like, I just still don't know if that was a good trade, but it still kind of paid for it. So anyways, still playing Marine Tank, doing the standard play. He can attack into me at this point. I mean, I've got this nice concave. And now I'm finally making the transition to Battlecruisers, and it's only 20 minutes into the game. Like, this isn't very common at all. Like, nobody really does this. Like, it's only super late games, at least in Wings of Liberty, where you decide, okay, time to transition. I mean, with both of my upgrades, I've already got, what? And you can see my spending here. I'm getting +2 attack and +3 defense. And, yeah, I'm macking up. In 20 minutes into the game, I've already got Battlecruisers pretty much almost out on the field. I think one thing I needed to add on 2 more starports, because you do need Viking support with your Battlecruisers, just because the DPS is a little bit higher, and they're a little bit more agile, so you can kind of kite with them a little bit if need be. One other thing that has been a recent change, which I didn't do too much of, I think I built like 2 Ravens, is that now Seeker Missile doesn't require an upgrade anymore, so it makes them a lot stronger and more viable. I still don't know if this is what the Raven needs in order to make it a better spellcaster, but I do like it. And I also think one thing that's going to be very standard in the army now with Terran is going to be using a lot more Ravens. And you're going to need them because of the Widow Mines. I mean, you can't be wasting scans all the time. So it's just going to be handy to have, and you're going to need it very early. Well, not very early in the game, but mid-game you should get out a Raven or 2. Especially if you're going to be clearing a bunch of Widow Mine defenses. So, yeah, TvT's gotten quite turtly now. But, yeah, not too much more to explain to this. I mean, I go on to win the game, starving them out, doing drops, and so on and so forth. But I figured I'd just like to explain a little bit of how the new... Jesus Christ, somebody outside is, like, dying. Anyways, just explaining a little bit about the new changes. I think it's quite cool. I think Terran has gotten a lot of the things it needs. We can get a stronger army earlier in the game, which means our late game is going to be much more effective because we can do more damage in the early game. At least on my level, that's how I see it. Versus Zerg, it's done fantastic. The last game, I did something pretty similar besides going 3 racks. It was complete mech. Transitioned into Battlecruiser. He starved me out, but I still pretty much won. No, I flat out won because I just had him so much earlier. I don't know how viable Sky Terran will be, but I think it might be a viable tech choice now. I think it might even become something that's completely standard, once the game is released and it's been explored a little bit. Assuming there's not a ton of changes, which probably is going to happen. So I don't know how long this will be staying in the game, but I do like that. My only complaint really is the Hellbats are still kind of meh. I'm okay with the changes to the Widow Mine. They're really strong. They needed it anyways. Yeah, I think that's about it. Just make my death push up here and he's dead. Because Battlecruisers are awesome. I love being able to play with him again. I remember back before I really played this game, like any competitive level, just doing a 4v4 fastest and doing whatever you can to go Battlecruiser rush. Kind of brings back those memories, but now I'm just more serious. And honestly, at this point, I don't even care to even micro. I mean, I just pretty much won. Why even bother? Just gonna 1A. Should have made use of the Ravens though. What's great about the Ravens is, use your point defense drones, stop his attacks, yeah. So that's it. I'm curious to see how the metagame and everything adjusts in the future and TvT and other matchups. I love the idea of going Sky Terran. I don't know how fun it's going to be to observe, but someone who is Terran, I love watching it. But if you're not that, I think the games are going to go on quite a bit longer now. But yeah, that's it. Thank you guys for watching. If you would like to get more content relating to Heart of the Swarm, we're going to be doing tons of videos on it. Also casting games and stuff like that, I think myself and Aaron. So we'll get perspective from a Terran and a Protoss point of view, and if I find someone else who's Zerg, we'll get that too. We also do a lot of machinima-related content to Starcraft. I have something that I'm working on that's related to the medevac boost. Oh yeah, which I didn't talk about, but comes in really handy if you're, facing Protoss and they blink under you. More of a chance that you're going to get away and not lose all that, 2 or 3 medevacs worth of units. That's also a great upgrade too. So now we got stim on our Marines and stim on our medevacs. Thanks for watching, everyone, and stay awesome.